Hello viewers, welcome to Physics with Sanmitra. Today we are going to discuss about the case of a monkey climbing on a rope. And this is a very common problem which is found in almost every books, and this problem involves the concept of tension. That is how the tension will change when the monkey is climbing up with some acceleration and it is going down with some acceleration. So let's see this case. Now the first case is the monkey is just hanging on the rope, or it is moving up or moving down with a constant velocity. That means the acceleration is zero in this case. It is moving up or moving down with a constant velocity, or it is at rest, just hanging. So this is a fairly simple case. We can write, here is the monkey. If we can draw the free body diagram of the monkey, always draw the free body diagram. Tension T is acting upwards and the mass of the monkey is m, so mg is acting downwards and it is in equilibrium. There is no acceleration involved, so T is equal to mg. Okay. Now the next case we will consider is the monkey is climbing up on the rope. Now let's see what happens. See, the monkey is holding the rope with his hands and legs. Now the monkey is pulling the rope downwards. The monkey is, see, these are the hands of the monkey, fingers of the monkey, and it is holding the, say, rope I am showing with red. It is holding the rope. Now the monkey is pulling the rope downwards with its hand, and the rope is pushing the monkey with an equal and opposite force, that is upward. Exactly, that is this tension which we are talking about, this tension. So the rope is exerting a force of T upwards on the monkey. That is actually the force exerted by the monkey downwards on the rope, and due to friction, that force, that is actually the friction between the hand and the rope, that is the friction. And when the monkey is pulling the rope, that friction force is actually offered by the monkey on the rope, and the rope is offering an equal and opposite friction on the hand of the monkey to push it upwards, or rather to pull it upwards, or to exert a force upwards. So exactly that is what is happening here. Now let's draw the free body diagram of the monkey. See here, I have the monkey. Now I already discussed how this tension force is coming upwards, and this is mg. M is the mass of the monkey, and this monkey is going upwards with an acceleration a as given in the case. Now here I have drawn it already neatly. So T is upwards, mg is downwards, and a is upwards. So net force is upwards because acceleration is upwards. So T minus mg is equal to ma. So mg to this side and T is equal to m of g plus a. Therefore, we can see that the tension force is actually increasing. In the previous case, it was mg, just mg. Simply the tension was supporting the weight of the monkey. But here the tension is supporting the weight of the monkey, and also it is providing the extra force the monkey needs to accelerate upwards by an acceleration a. So tension is doing two things. It is supporting the weight, as well as it is providing that extra force to the monkey to let it accelerate upwards with an acceleration a. So T is equal to m of g plus a. Now question can come that what is the maximum acceleration if the rope can support, say, 20 Newton? Let's try one question. See, we have given the rope can handle a maximum force of 20 Newton, and the monkey is, say, 5 kg. the monkey is 5 kg, so 200 Newton. The tension, maximum tension of the rope T max Tm, it is 200 Newton. The monkey is 5 kg. With what acceleration? With what acceleration the monkey can climb up maximum so that the rope doesn't break? So very easy. Upward there will be tension, downward there will be mg. Suppose we don't know any formula. T minus mg is equal to m into a. So T is equal to m of g plus a. Now tension value we will be putting, that is 200, that is the maximum value. See, as we are increasing a, T also increases. So the maximum value of tension will correspond to the maximum value of acceleration. 200 is equal to, what is the mass? Mass is our 5 kilograms. So 5 into, what is g? G, let me assume it as 10 meter per second. It will be given in the problem. For simplicity, let's take it as 10. 10 plus a. Now what is the value? 200 by 5, that's 40. So a will be 30 meter per second square. This is the maximum value of acceleration with which the monkey can climb up the rope. Above this, if a is something more than 30, then the rope will break and the monkey will fall. We don't want that to happen, so we will advise the monkey to limit its acceleration up to 30 meter per second square. Okay. Now the next case, that is monkey is climbing down the rope. So we can see here the situation. The monkey is climbing down the rope with an acceleration a downwards. The mass is m. So free body diagram, it is very simple, similar to the last one I am not drawing. Tension is acting upwards. Always it will act away from the monkey. Mg is acting downwards and A is happening downwards. So it is accelerating downwards. So net force will be mg minus t, because mg is downward and t is upwards. So net will be at downward. So mg minus t, that will be mass into acceleration. So T is equal to mg minus a. T is equal to mg minus a. Here. Now what is happening when the monkey is going downwards? It is pushing the rope upward. That upward push is actually reducing the tension. Now I think you can feel it. The string is very taut, very tight, and you are pushing it upward. So you are slightly contributing to the reduction of tension. Okay. Now, what is the maximum value of A? What is the maximum value of A so that string remains taut? What is the maximum value of A so that the string remains taut? See the thing here. M is equal to G minus A. It is going downwards. As A is increasing, the tension is decreasing. What will happen when G will be equal to A? Or A will be equal to G, say A is equal to G, what will happen? That time this T will become 0, because there is G minus A term here. So T will become 0. So the monkey can see, suppose G is 9.8 meter per second. The monkey can go maximum up to 9.8 meter per second. Below, the monkey cannot go further below, because that time it will cause in the slacking of the string. So the string won't remain tight anymore. So it cannot exert that force, because the monkey is constrained to move down along the string. So A should be equal to G, and that is the maximum value of acceleration the monkey can travel downwards without slacking the string. Okay. Now let's solve a problem. Let's read out the problem. 3 monkeys are on a rope. The topmost monkey has a mass m1 and climbing with an acceleration of a1. Middle monkey is climbing down the rope with an acceleration of a2. Bottommost monkey is climbing up with a constant velocity v. Find the maximum tension that is acting on the string and locate the section at which the maximum tension is acting. Assume massless string. So this is what is our question says. So let's see what is the scenario actually. See, one monkey, that is the topmost monkey, that is having a mass m1 and it is going up, it is climbing up with an acceleration a1. The second monkey is having a mass m2, is moving down with an acceleration a2. The third monkey, or the bottommost monkey, is having a mass m3, it is moving up with a constant velocity v, but acceleration is 0. Constant velocity means 0 acceleration. Now look here, I am replacing this monkey with the block for simplicity of representation. I am representing the monkey with a block. Here also a block and here also a block. Now I am representing the section of the string between the first monkey and the support is as 1, between the first monkey and the second monkey as 2, and between the first monkey and second and third monkey as 3. Now understand one thing. This monkey is moving upward with an acceleration a1 and this is moving downward with an acceleration a2. Since this third one is not having any acceleration, so it will not have an impact on the tension. See, since it is moving upward with an acceleration of a1, so this portion of the string is being pulled by all three monkeys. This portion of the string is being pulled by only these two monkeys, and this last portion of the string that is pulled by only the last monkey. So I have divided into 3 sections, and all 3 sections will have tension different. See, I have told you in Newton's laws of motion, that FBD diagram, that same string will have same tension, but I have mentioned a condition. That is, the string should be massless and there should not be any mass on the string. But this mass present in between the string, or it is moving with an acceleration a, that actually makes it the condition of a mass string with mass. That means it is adding mass to the string, because see, this is m1, the first block, and I am applying here some tension will act and here some tension will act. This is t1, this is say t2, and acceleration, it will accelerate upward with an acceleration a1. So definitely this t1 should be greater than t2. If t1 is not greater than t2, then this one will not accelerate. So clear, I guess, this much. So these are the sections of different strings. Although they are the same string, the presence of the monkeys make it effectively different string. Now let's draw the free body diagram of the system. See, the first one, if I draw it here, if I separate the objects, see the first object, this is m1. M1 is being acted upon upward by t1 and downward by t2, and also m1g. Exactly the same thing I have shown here. M1 is acted upward by t1, downward by t2, down, and also m1g, that is weight, and upward by a1. The m2 is acted upward by t1, downward by t3, and downward by m2g also, and then again it is moving downward with an acceleration a2. Downward with m2g, that is the weight always acting downwards towards the center of the earth. This is t3 and this is t2, and moving downward with an acceleration a2. And the last string, that is third one, that is not having any acceleration, that is simply having a velocity v, that is constant. So acceleration is 0. So this t, and downward there will be m3g. So this is t3 and this is m3g. Now let's write the equations. The first one, t1 is acting upwards, t2 and m1g are acting downwards. Since t1 is acting upwards and the acceleration is happening upwards, we can say that the net force is upwards, that is t1 minus m1g minus t2, that is equal to m1 into a. Net force is equal to mass into acceleration. What is that? That is Newton's second law of motion. Exactly the same thing I have written here. T1 minus m1g minus t2 is equal to m1 into a1. The same thing I will be doing here. the net force in the second block is acting downwards because the acceleration is downwards. So m2g plus t3 minus t2. m2g plus t3 minus t2, that is our to net force that is acting downwards, and that will be equal to m2 into a2. And for the last one, we have m3 is equal to t3 because this mass is not accelerating, so this is in equilibrium. So t3 is equal to mg. Now let's solve these three equations. See, we have 1 and 2. What we can do here, we can subtract 1 minus 2. See, if we subtract 1 minus 2, this t2 and this t2 will cancel. Then t1 minus m1g. This will be minus m2g and minus m3g. That will be m1a1 minus m2a2. Okay. Now this t3, this is unknown, but t3 we know it is m3g. So we are replacing this one. We are replacing t1 minus m1g. We are replacing t1 minus m1g minus m2g. This t3 I am replacing by m3g. That is m1 minus m2. Now I am transposing this term. I am transposing, say, this term into the right hand side. So that will become m1g plus a1 plus m2g minus a2 plus m3g. That is the t1 tension, the uppermost part. Now t2, just see, t2 I can say from this first equation, from the equation 1, I can say t2 is equal to t1 minus m1g minus m1a1. If I do that, exactly from here, if I do that, just see from here, it is very simple. Or here I can say, if I do it from here, t2 is equal to t1 minus m1g minus m1a1. t1 minus m1g, this minus m1a1, and these terms will remain, and that will become m2g of a minus 2 plus m3g. That means just this much part of t1. And we already know t3 is equal to m3g. So the largest tension is t1 here. And mathematical results comply with the physical understanding, as this t1 part, say this part t1, this t1 part is carrying the mass of all three monkeys, and also this m1 is going upward and this m2 is going downward. So it is carrying the mass of all three monkeys. So this one should have the maximum tension, followed by this one and followed by this one. So definitely T1 has the maximum value of tension. That is the section 1 of the equation. That is M1G1. Say I am clearing everything here. That is M1G plus A1. M1G plus A1 plus M2G minus A2 plus M3G. That is the tension T1. That is the maximum tension. This was a bit of lengthy method. Now let's look for some shortcut. But remember, before learning the shortcut, you should know the proper method so that you can appreciate, you can understand the shortcut. You don't have to memorize or by heart the shortcut. You can arrive at the shortcut by your own. Let's see. This is the effective weight method. Just focus here. This is the monkey which is climbing up with an acceleration A. It is having a mass m. Now see. That T minus mg is ma. It is we have already done it. Tension is upwards, mg is downwards, and a is upwards. So T minus mg is equal to ma. T is equal to m of g plus a. Now, what will happen if I replace this accelerating monkey, upwards accelerating monkey, with a stationary block that mass is equivalent mass is m dash? So what is the effective weight? Let's find out. The effective weight of this arrangement, which is stationary, not accelerating, but the force acting downward, that is m into g plus a, because tension T is equal to m into g plus a. It has to balance the tension. Due to this mass m dash, m of g plus a is acting on this object. Now m dash into g, that is the weight due to this mass, that is m of g plus a. Now m dash is m of 1 plus a by g. If the monkey is accelerating upward, it is having a mass m, it will be m of a plus m of 1 plus a by g. Similarly, if the monkey is accelerating downwards, the weight will be m of 1 minus a by g. If the monkey is not accelerating at all, then effective mass will be the actual mass. Now let's solve the previous problem with the help of effective weight method. Let's see how fast we can do. We can do it in seconds. See, this is m1, it is accelerating upward with an acceleration of a1. This is m2, this is accelerating downwards with an acceleration of a2, and this m3 is having acceleration 0. m1 is accelerating upward with a1, so effective weight is m1 into 1 plus a by g. m2 is accelerating downward with an acceleration a2, so m2 is effective mass is m2 into 1 minus a by g, and m3 is not accelerating by any acceleration, so m3 is effective mass is 0. Sorry, not 0, the same. m3 is m3 since a is 0. So this is our arrangement. Now this becomes very simple. Now we can understand intuitively at which section of the string the tension is maximum. See, one thing, just see here, which tension of the section of the string the acceleration will be the tension will be maximum. This upper part, just see, it is holding, it is suspending, or it is hanging all three masses. Definitely at this part the tension will be large, that will be more than this and this, because this part has to support only these two, and the last part has to support only m3. But this part, this section 1 in the previous problem, this section of the string, the topmost section of the string, has to support all the weights. So this tension will be, if I consider all this, that is equal to m3. So this tension will be all the summation of all the mass. So what I will do is that I will do m1 dash, see, this is m1 dash plus m2 dash plus m3 dash, the total mass into g, that will be my tension at this point. That will be my tension at this point. So simply I am just adding all the weights here. I'm just adding all the weights, m1 into 1 plus g plus m2 into 1 minus g, 1 minus a by g, m1 into 1 plus a by g, and m3 total into g, total mass into g. So I'm multiplying it, I will get m1 into g plus a, m2 into g minus a, and m3 into g. So this method is a shortcut type of method, but you need to know how things happen. So I think now this topic is clarified to you. At least you have understood the concepts, how to relate the Newton's laws of motion in this problem. And if you like our video, then please subscribe to our channel, and please share this video with your friends who are preparing for JEE or NEET or any other exam who may need it. So thank you.